Hey everybody, it's Carrie. Um, so I'm here to talk with you about a necromancer build for Diablo 4. Um, so basically, this will be a build to cause your minions to be unkillable and to live like indefinitely, and to deal the maximum amount of damage that you can possibly do. So, as you can see here, there's no gear on here because it's an estimation based. Estimation based is basically saying this armor piece gets this much, this armor piece gets this much, on average of what we saw and how it scaled in the betas. Um, we had some in-game footage, so we kind of got some idea on that. We could get armor with somewhere around 100 points of stat on there, possibility of having more. Um, so, of course, right here, you got skirmishers with the +1 skirmisher. That's what this build is revolving around. You could get the others, but this build doesn't really benefit from defenders. This build doesn't really benefit from the reapers. Um, you can go reapers, and it could possibly work with the high damage with the defenses that are in this build. But defenders, it just makes it pointless because it's just higher health warriors when you're gonna have plenty and just need more damage. Cold skeletal mages for the vulnerability and freezing and slows. And then your bone golem for the taunts. And you want the increased max life with thorns. So we're going to have decompose, and depending on what they do, you can do, you're going to want your skeletons on there, of course. But if it doesn't allow you to map it to your other keys or anything like that. But in that case, you're going to go either decompose or what is it? It's reap. You're going to decompose or reap, and then with that, you're going to head over and choose one of these, blood mist or blood surge, preferably both. With this, if they allow for the keybinds for other skills, you'll then do corpse explosion, bone storm, and golem. This is for survivability, taunting, and I'll show you why you want this because it's once you get close over here at the skill tree, you will have it to where you can do damage reduction and critical strike chance increased by 20%. There is some abilities in the Paragon that make it to where when you're up close, your minions deal more damage, and you're going to want that. You also have your Skeletal Priest heal for an additional 60% of their max life on the skeletons, and your minions can't lose more than 45% of their max life from a single damage source. You have, after you've been healthy for 4 seconds, you and your minions gain 4% attack speed, only 1 point. It stacks as you keep getting more. 1 point is plenty. Your minions deal 30% increased damage while you're close to them. That's another talent that's going to work with this, so you be tankier since you're putting everything in your skeletons. You kind of run in and be like, boom, damage boost, and you're dealing damage, and your defenses are good, and your AoE, all that. This, you're increasing your max life by 10%. After being healthy for 50 seconds, your next blood skill overpowers. That is the preferred. You can really go any of these depending on what you decide to go with. But for a skelly build, that's probably going to be your best choice. Over here is while below 50% life, you receive 30% more healing from all sources. Blood orbs also heal your minions for 45% of the amount, so you want that. And then while you're healthy, your blood skills deal 6% increased damage. You could take a point out of this and put it somewhere else if you want to. There is a couple places you can have it where it'll be nice, but still, you don't really need to. Increase your damage of your life skeletal mages by 60. That's tier 3. Skeletal warriors mastery, damage and life of your skeletons, tier 3. Corpse explosion, fully built. Blood mist, fully built. Blood surge, fully built. And then we have the decompose, fully built. Now, like I said, it's going to depend on what they do on how you build this. But these are the main skills that you're going to want on it. Now the real point of concern is the Paragon. This is where it gets a little trickier because as you can see, this is how I built it. This is purely skeleton and survivability and unkillability and everything else. This is what you're going to want here. Maybe some board rotation depending how you want it, but the way I decided to do it based off these stats up here, this seemed to be the most viable. Now you could take this board, put it here, this board on top, and this board on second. But it doesn't change all that much based off the stats that you're going to have here. So go to main board, we come up here, we're going to be getting resilience, 4% resistance to all elements, and 4% life, and you get another set of that. And then you get more around here. These are going to also apply to your skeletons to a percentage, I believe it's 25% to 50%. So the more resistance you have, the better for you and your skeletons on survivability. Come up here, dexterity, you're going to have that dexterity more than likely majority of the time. It's not going to be that difficult. Armor and another set of armor. It's huge. 200 armor is really good, so your skeletons are probably going to get like 50 armor. Come up here, next board. You're going to ride through here. And you're going to get lucky hit. And this board up here is the flesh eater, by the way. Up to a 10% chance to execute injured non-elites, and 2% attack speed, and another 10% to non-elites if you meet willpower. As you can see, we already meet willpower. This is going to be huge for clearing. Your minions are going to attack faster, they're going to get more damage in, the elites are going to be injured, and you're going to just completely obliterate. You got to think, when you have 16 skeletons up, average, with some legendary gear, 6 of them hit an elite, and more than likely you're going to one-tap at some point there. Come over here, 4% resistance to all elements, and 10% 10 intelligence, and another 4% of elemental resistance. So that's again another set. We're already sitting at around, I don't know, 23%, 26%, something like that. Come up here, 12% poison resistance, and another 12% poison resistance if requirements are met. As you can see in the beta, there was a lot of poison. A lot of bosses with a lot of poison, a lot of world bosses with a lot of poison. There's poison everywhere. Get poison. The armor alone is very effective. So that in itself, 100 armor for free with some resistance, it's going to be great. You could come over here and grab something like this instead. 25% damage to injured elites. You could swap that to that if you really wanted to, but I feel like this is the better choice. You go down here. This board is Cult Leader. You're going to grab 4% minion armor, 10% maximum minion life. That's 350 dex. Should have 350 dex. We're already at 455 intelligence, 313 willpower, 211 dex. You should have that based with the armor stats, in general. If you don't, you're going to want this board to be the first board. And this board up top to be the second, and this to be the third, to be honest. Just because these two are the more important, but the way the tree is built, this was the more efficient path. And another 4% minion armor if requirements are met. So that's 8% minion armor, 10% maximum minion life, and you have all of these lives and armors right here. They're going to be really big. Legendary node, your minions deal 10% increased damage for each minion type you have active. This only applies to the minion types Skeletal Warrior, Skeletal Mage, and Golem. You're going to have all three. They're going to all be tanky. They're all going to be alive. They're all going to be built. You're going to want this. Specifically this. This is the only legendary node you really want to care about. This is the only one. That's why this build here is strictly focused on these rare nodes and only one legendary node. I think I might have one more up here, maybe. You're going to come up here, 17% skeletal mage damage, and 16% skeletal mage resistance to all elements, and another 17% skeletal mage damage. With those stats complete, 350, 480, you can see that we're already basically there. You're going to have, at minimum, an extra 40 willpower, 30 intelligence. You're going to have way more than that. You're going to have probably around 600 intelligence, probably around 425 willpower, and probably around 360, 380 dexterity. You don't want to worry about strength at all. Then you come up here, reach down here, you're going to grab minion damage and minion attack speed with another 10% minion damage. 490 intelligence, we're basically there. That's another free 10 and another free 2. That's a whole set of 20% damage increase. It's easy. Come down here, intelligence, dexterity, 350 dexterity. I told you we're going to have probably around 360 dexterity. This isn't far from anything crazy. 17% skeletal warrior damage, 6.5% skeletal warrior armor, another 17% skeletal warrior damage if requirements are met. This is really good too because you gotta think you're gonna have around 34% increased skeletal warrior damage, and you're building armor around all of this. So it's free damage and free armor. This is a huge buff to your skeletons. This one set of note here is massive. And like I said, that dexterity, it might change when you get further in game and you're sitting at, let's say, I don't know, 65 dexterity at the end. You might want to think about swapping these two over here and putting this one on top, because you're gonna realize at that point you're not gonna have enough. You're gonna want to have 150 dex by the time you get this board situated. Unless you're not max level yet and everything. So that makes a difference too. From there, you come back up top. You're going to grab this glyph here. And you're going to put in for every 5 dex purchased within range, Skeletal Warriors deal 4% increased damage. Skeletal Warriors gain 20% increased armor as a bonus. We've been building armor. Your skeletons gain some of your armor, and now they get 20% bonus to the armor that they gained from you. That's why we've been building this armor. And dexterity. You build all this dex. Like I said, you get your dex built. They get damage buffed. So the dex is beneficial. This is an intelligence willpower build, but it's going to be a tri-stat build. It's going to be intelligence third. Intelligence is not your primary for your points here, but they're primary for building your character. They're primary for building your skeletons. They're the backbone of the brain and heart of the whole operation. Come over here. You're going to have 10% damage reduction for your minions and 10 intelligence. Another 10% damage reduction for your minions if requirements are met. 350 dex. That's still not far off. That's 350. Like I averaged about 360. So, like it's once again, swap those boards. If it comes down to that point, watch your stats when you get to end game. Don't just start building. Look at it. Read it. See what it's like. Come back to this board here, to this video, and look at it and be like, oh yeah, if he got all that at that point, and it's not this, I don't have that much dex right now. I'm not going to meet that. He's fully built through the build, and he's only at 211. I got 80. I'm not going to have enough for this stuff, so I need to swap these boards around. And that's how you're going to find out. This is Cult Leader. We went here, and we're going to come up here. 10% minion damage, 10 intelligence, and another 10% minion damage if requirements are met. 360 willpower. Won't be difficult at all. Come up here. You're going to have your golem tree. Golem tree is going to be hulking monstrosity. So we're going to get 17% golem damage, 10 intelligence, and another 17% golem damage if requirements are met. This is why I said swap them if necessary. This is a pre-live game build. This is to the highest degree, this is what I spent 5 hours on, strictly focusing on beta, focusing on what will potentially be live, focusing on the footage that we got for our end game, and just strictly looking at stats that are potential to the highest degree. This is not 100% certain. This is just to what I have mapped out accordingly. This is not going to be perfect. Because like I said, this could not work. This might have to be swapped to the second, this to the third, and this one to the first. So cult leader as, so you got your first board here. So technically cult leader as the first board, hulking monstrosity as the second board, and flesh eater as the third board. Because we don't have decks on any of this. We won't need it. It might just be better to put it up here anyways because you're going to have the intelligence and willpower. So it'll be cult leader, hulking monstrosity, and flesh eater on the top. This is your primary build set. This is what you're going to want. Either this one or swap it around. It depends on what you have. So 17, 17, and 10 with 450 dex. This will be the only one that causes you issues here, is the dex. For every 5 willpower purchased within range, golems gain 4% increased damage. Golems gain 25% increased maximum life. This is big for you. You're going to want it. You're building golem. 6.5% golem armor, 10 intelligence, another 6.5% golem armor if requirements are met, 450 willpower. We will have that. We will have that. We will have that. You're going to have 440 willpower. Easy. Golem armor, 7 willpower, 3.5% golem armor, 7 willpower. You got to realize these stats, 440, you're at 310. This is just the Paragon board stats. Just the Paragon board stats that you have right now that's showing. This is it. So you're going to have 6, 8, 10 armor pieces with, you know, what you call it. I know Necromancer has less than 10, but still. It just depends. You're going to come down here. You're going to grab 17% golem damage, 6.8% golem attack speed, another 17% golem damage, 450 willpower. You'll have that. It's easy. The only reason you'd have to swap it is for the dex, and that's for the swap around over there, because you're going to have a lower dex count at that point. Of course, you get all these nodes, and you're going to come over here. You're going to wrap around. There's that legendary node I said that I probably have. Your golem has 30% increased maximum life and deals 30% increased damage. Hulking monstrosity legendary node. You're going to want to get that. It's worth the points to grab it. You're going to come over. You're going to get 10% damage while golems are active, 2% total armor while golems are active. Another 10% damage while golems are active if requirements are met. Intelligence, willpower, 610 intelligence. You're at 455. You're going to tell me you're not going to have an extra 100 and, I don't know, 160? You're going to have 160 on armor. You're going to. More armor bonuses here. Of course, this could be swapped out. You have to worry less. These here are just extras. You can get rid of these. You can put them in extra sections around here if you want to. If you, at the end you realize, I need more dex, I need more willpower, I need more intelligence. Take these away, put them somewhere else. There's going to be little tidbits every so often that I've placed for this build that you're going to be able to shave off, like these here. You're going to be able to shave off, a little bit of shaving here. You know, you're going to be able to get some little points back, probably like 6, 8 points if you really need them. Then you're going to come up top. There's your golem armor, and another set of golem armor. That is 13% golem armor for the willpower. Then you're going to come up top, and this is going to be your last bit. Your 17% golem damage and 14% golem maximum life. Another 17% golem damage if requirements are met. That's that 610 intelligence, 440 willpower. Okay, so this is the build. Hulking monstrosity, cult leader, flesh eater, and the starting board. So what you'll do is, if it comes to that point, you're going to take cult leader. Cult leader is the more important board. It is the primary board. It is the only board you care about. Hulking monstrosity is the second most important. And then flesh eater is the third. Flesh eater is the third because it is resistances. You will get resistances on armor. You will get resistances on necklaces. You will get resistances on basically everything. It's not a huge deal to have that third up top, not be able to get one of these, and then swap it around. The thing is here is that you can rotate this. Okay, you can, yeah. I was thinking of something different earlier. I didn't think you could do that. So this is the most primary. This is what you're going to be looking for. This is kind of like a, hey, this is what you need to build if you're wanting to go skeletons, and you're wanting them to live, you're wanting them to deal damage, and you're wanting them to survive most things. As a skeleton build, you're going to be there supporting them. They're going to be your primary. They're not there to support you, you're there to support them. You're supposed to be the leader, and they're supposed to be the army that does the work. So this is the build that you're going to be looking at to do that. I've mapped it out for you. This is it. I'm going to be linking this in the video, and you can look at it. You can kind of mess around with it. You can readjust it, and you can kind of see how you want to do it. But this is going to be the main setup that you're looking to do. I've looked at all the stats. I've checked them all out. I've did the best I could to get the best percentages, and this is going to be your best percentages for it. So yeah, this will be it here. This is a percentage board. I got damage with warriors, damage with mages, damage with golem, damage with minions, damage with skills. As you can see, skills is 45.5%, same as my minions. Damage from golem 25. We're not worried about golem damage all that much. We're not worried about your golem is there to specifically taunt and deal passive damage while your skeletons are able to deal in damage without taking damage. That's what your golem's there for. Your golem's there to be like, hey boss, focus on me. Hey enemies, focus on me. That is it. That is its only role. Attack speed, 12. Minion attack speed, 12. Golem attack speed, 23.8. Critical strike chance, 9.22. Critical strike damage, 50%. Overpower chance, 3%. Overpower damage, 128.25%. Vulnerable damage, 20%. We have armor of 512. So your skeletons are going to get at minimum 100 armor. Minimum. On the high end, 200 armor. Armor contribution, 50. Armor from Golem, 4. Minion armor, 10%. Golem armor, 13.5%. Warrior armor, 7%. Resist all, 40.75%. We have 40.75% resist all on you, your character. Your minions are going to get 10% of that, maybe 15% of that. Possibly 20% if it's 50% of what you have to them. But I think it's 25%, so I think you'll get 10% to your minions. Poise resistance, 18%. They're going to have 5%. Mage resist all, 32%. That's your mages. Your mages alone are going to have 32%. Minion damage reduction, 25%. Dodge chance, 5.28%. We don't care about dodge chance. We're going to have Golem. Golem's going to be the dodge chance. Essence generation, 31.3%. That is big. We have it. That's good. Movement speed, 100%. We're at 100% movement speed. This is the build you want. Paragon is the primary focus of this entire video, but everything I've showed you is this base stepping ground of what you'll need. So I thank you for watching. Like, comment on the video, tell me how I did, tell me what I need to do better, and I'll have a link in the video below with the link to this here, so you can fidget with it how you want to. Thank you. This is Carrie. Everybody have a good day.